Hi, hope you're doing well today. I'm here to defend a paper about participatory budgeting, PB in short, and the media. The title is No Pain, No Gain. The main issues grasp the behavior of the media, manager and journalists together, about this growing trend. PB was once described by the New York Times as being a democratic innovation. The issue is critical for the future of democracies. PB is an attempt to restore citizen trust in politics and media because for some reason media is linked with politics. The civic mission devoted historically to the media is to be the watchdog of the public life. Both failed. All the surveys in France show that politicians are at the bottom of the trust scale and just a step above are the journalists. Both are described are being corrupted and at least with no contact with the daily reality of the citizen. As you can see on the table, the electoral turnout is relatively low in Europe and United States of America. The last presidential election in the United States 2020 was an exception due to the, let's say, a context. So we can read on this slide the reason of the decreasing turnout, corrupt, dysfunctional system. Is there a way out? Is there a solution, especially among young people who do not vote easily? It's a kind of paradox. The survey among European countries show that for young people, the only way to make their voice heard is to vote, but they do not vote due probably to a lack of confidence in the process. PB may appear as an alternative solution. What is PB? PB is a well-known process by scholars. So let's sum up in a few words. It is a product of a socialist lab in Porto Alegre, Brazil, and it has spread worldwide in the last 2 decades. It's supposed to be best suited for small communities, but huge cities have implemented it recently, Paris, Chicago, and New York. So let's see the worldwide range. Let's see in Poland. It's PB is mandatory in Poland. And then the world range scope. Mainly in small cities, but public schools too. In Chicago, no, in the United States and Portugal, many schools use the tool PB. Before COVID, there were more than 10,000 PB in the world, and there were less than 5,000 last year due to the pandemic. The figures for 2022 are not available. Is it efficient? According to 3 American researchers who conducted work in New York City, the increase in turnout for general election is around 7%. So it seems that people get used through PB to the voting process and debate more easily. So at that point, we should ask the central question: are legacy media taking the opportunity to restore the trust and play the role of a crucial actor or protagonist in the public sphere. They should play that role, but they don't, or they do not really do that. Some example. New York City launched its first PB in 2011. It's probably the most successful implementation in the United States, along with Oakland. PB in New York runs $35 million in taxpayer money each year, with a wide range of projects, among them a PB of $100,000 run by young people. There was or there is a feeling of trust with proven results in the field. There the media play an interesting part, demonstrating empathy and respect, mainly the New York Times. Second example, Chicago, the best and the worst all at once. The first PB was launched in 1929 by a man, Alderman Seat, an elected man. However, the project was so personal that there was an exhaustion effect in the second year, with the departure of volunteers and reduced participation. The media and the people have been bitterly critical. There has been a recent positive change with the creation of new PBs. Paris now. The first PB was launched in 2014 by Anne Hidalgo after her victory as mayor. PB has always been bipartisan and controversial in Paris. The opposition criticized the implementation, calling it political trick and maneuver. The project was launched with a huge communication campaign led by a former journalist and participant in the Obama presidential campaign in the US. The tools were mainly digital, Twitter, platform, as well as billboard and poster. The PR staff did not ask for the collaboration of legacy media, but yes, they purchased many ads in this campaign with no common agreement among people. Legacy media had a traditional coverage. 8 out of 10 French citizens want their community to set up a PB, even though they are quite skeptical about the way and goal a PB might be launched by politicians. So there is a wide range of media behavior, such as a massive support from a public radio station in Alsace, in a small city, and distrust in Grenoble by the main newspaper, Le Dauphiné. Let us point out an exciting initiative from a German NGO specializing in PB. They try to find common ground with the media. They accept and even encourage media to be critical, to play watchdog, but they ask for moderation and professionalism without giving a real definition of those two words. Finally, there is a kind of stagnation in the engagement of journalists who are in the majority intellectually in favor of participative democracy. Two reasons. The number of PB is rising. However, the increase in civic turnout is quite slow, real, but quite slow. Citizens in some countries, France for example, are quite skeptical because PB is becoming a top-down process, coming from elected institutions, from the same group of people who provoked a negative reaction and the invention of PB. So citizens are wondering whether PB is another political trick. Moreover, money is pouring in that field with the emergence of people called civic techs, who are trained professionals in PB. A US company asks between $25,000 and $60,000 for organizing a small-scale PB. So there is a growing gap, according to two French researchers. Findings. Obviously, the media manager are interested in the financial trend, which can mean extra revenue for the company. So they are becoming to ask newsrooms to be innovative and invent a new editorial format, which might be what we call positive journalism, a phrase to be defined. More collaborative and independent watchdog at the same time. However, until now, PV remains an innovation at work and a gamble concerning civic participation as well as a new media format.